Hello, you are welcome. You are welcome today to our weekly webinar. You are welcome. So say hello, say hi, let us know where are you joining us from. You're welcome. So today we're going to be discussing about something very interesting. Yes, you're welcome. So today we're talking about rewriting the scripts, how we can identify and release limiting beliefs. So how can you as a parent, how can I as a parent identify and release our limiting belief? Now, as a parent, have you ever been caught? Have you ever caught yourself thinking, I am not good enough? I am not worthy. I am not a good parent. Or this child is too difficult. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate. Have you ever caught yourself thinking of these thoughts? The truth is that what if these thoughts were not actually true? What if these thoughts were just scripts you were playing in your head? Those scripts you tell yourself, okay, it's there, but it's not really true. Those thoughts you tell yourself, oh, I don't believe in myself, I am not enough, this child is difficult, this thing is hard, I cannot do it. What if those thoughts were not facts? What if those thoughts playing in your head are not true, but they are just scripts that are playing that are not true? Now, in this webinar, we're going to learn how we can recognize limiting beliefs when we see one or when we feel we're limiting ourselves, how we can challenge these limiting beliefs, and how we can begin to rewrite the story, how we can begin to do the mental scripting, how we can change our thoughts, how we can rewrite these beliefs. Now, you cannot live beyond what you believe as an adult, as an individual, as a parent. You as a person cannot live beyond what you believe. So what do you believe? That is the conversation for us today. What do you believe as a person, as a parent, as an adult? Because you cannot live above what you believe. If your system is limited, your life will be limited. So are you surrounded with a system of limiting beliefs? Are you limiting yourself? Are you telling yourself things like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this, it's not possible? Are you limiting yourself? We're going to talk about limiting beliefs today. Now, limiting beliefs are like background music. You know those background music you'll be playing, but you don't even know they're even playing. You did not even realize that this background music is playing. That is what limiting belief is. It's like those background music that will be playing, but you did not realize that it's playing. But it's only when you stop and listen, you now know that, okay, there's something playing in the background. That is how limiting belief is. Now, limiting beliefs are false assumptions. The false assumptions we have about ourselves, or the negative internal scripts, those scripts that we accept as truths, those assumptions we tell ourselves. You tell yourself things like, I can't read a book. You tell yourself things like, I am not worthy. You tell yourself things like, I am not enough. You tell yourself things like, this thing is too hard, I cannot do it. All those are false assumptions we tell ourselves on a daily basis that has been limiting us and that has kept us stuck. Those are internal scripts you've been running with for a long time that is keeping you stuck, or that is keeping us stuck. And most times, these limiting beliefs, it starts from childhood, and it is reinforced by the culture, the people you see around you, the things you hear, culture, what you hear growing up. Some of us growing up, we heard things like, you're not good enough. You hear things like, you cannot even get that thing. You hear things like, you're not smart, you're not intelligent. You hear those things. So these things have been reinforced. You hear it from people you trust. You hear it from your carers. You hear it from everyone around you. Sometimes also from our traumas. A good number of us are traumatized. Now, what is trauma? Trauma is something that has happened in the past and negatively impacting your life now. Or trauma is something that would have happened to you, something that should have happened to you but did not happen, or something that you should have known or but you did not know, and now is impacting your life. So our negative belief it's fueled by our trauma. And it's also fueled by our comparison. When you keep comparing yourself, when you tell yourself, oh, I am not good enough. When you tell yourself, oh, I am not worthy. When you tell yourself, this person is better at this than me. These These are all negative beliefs. These are limiting beliefs. When you tell yourself, oh, my child is not enough. When you tell yourself, oh, I made a mistake again. I keep making mistake. When you tell yourself things like, I can't change. I can't read. When you tell yourself like, I always do this same mistake. All these are common limiting beliefs we hear, but the truth is that these beliefs do not serve us. This belief is keeping us and preventing us from moving ahead. That is why we need to talk about these limiting beliefs. We need to be able to address it. How can we address these beliefs that have been playing on as internal script in our head? How can we begin to work on ourselves? And that is why we need to work on our mindset, because the mindset is the key to everything. A fixed mindset is a mindset that believes this truth of limitation. Now, when you have a fixed mindset, is that mindset that tells you, oh, you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you can't do this. That is a fixed mindset. But a growth mindset recognizes that all these thoughts are just stories. A growth mindset recognizes that these things, this thought you have about yourself, or these conversations you have with yourself, like I am not good enough, I cannot read a book, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. A growth mindset will tell you that these are all stories, and stories can be rewritten. So you can rewrite the story of those limiting beliefs you have had. We can rewrite the stories of our limiting beliefs. So what is one limiting belief you've had and has kept you stuck? Could it be you just feel you're not worthy? Could it be you feel you're not good enough? Could it be you feel like you can't learn something? You feel something is so difficult, you can't learn. I'm here to tell you that those beliefs are stories and they can be rewritten. You can begin to rewrite the stories. You can begin to rewrite those limiting beliefs, because the truth is that those beliefs are not serving us. Those beliefs are not doing us any good. And that is why I keep on telling us about having a growth mindset and not a fixed mindset. Now, where do our beliefs come from? Now, our mind is like a garden. You know how a garden is? It's clean, everything is okay. It's what we plant on that garden that grows. So your mind is like a garden. My mind is like a garden. What will determine how the garden is going to turn out is going to be what we plant in that garden. So the question I have for us today, even if you're catching a replay, what are you planting in your garden? What seeds are you planting in your garden? What conversations are you having with yourself that is going to determine how this garden is going to turn out? Are you having the conversations of a limiting mindset? Are you having the conversations of I cannot, I cannot, I cannot? Are you telling yourself occasionally I am not enough? Are you telling yourself even before you start you're going to make a mistake? All these are the seeds you use in planting your garden. So what are you planting your garden with? Now, our beliefs are shaped by our family. The family you grew up had a way of shaping your belief. You grew up in a family that told you, okay, you're good at this, you're good, you know. If you grew up in a family that always encouraged you or motivated you, find out that somehow, even when things get difficult, you'll be motivated because that is what you grew up with. But if you grew up with a family that always told you, you can't do this, you're not even beautiful, you cannot try this, you cannot do this business and succeed. No, you can't do this, you cannot achieve it. No. If you grew up in such kind of environment, you'll find yourself, even as an adult, finding it difficult to try. So our beliefs are shaped by our family of origin. But the conversation today is that we should put the satellite on ourselves. So you're a parent today, or you're a parent to be, or you know a parent, a family, a brother, a sister, you know a parent. Now, how are your beliefs? How are the conversations you're having with your children or children around you shaping their belief? Are you having conversations that are limiting? Are you having conversations that are going to pull them down? Are you having conversations that will make the child not to try? The conversations you have today as a parent, with yourself, with your children, is going to determine the mindset they grow up with. So that is why we must be intentional with the mindset, with the conversation, the things you say to your child, because those things, those your words, those your beliefs that you transfer to your child, it has a way of shaping the belief of your child. Our beliefs are also shaped by our cultural norms and media. A lot of things we see around us, a lot of things we see around us, we just pick it up. Culture, media, what you watch on the screen, what you see on the social media, a lot of all these things shape our belief. For example, if you constantly hear things like, these people are not good at this, you're not good at this person tried this and did not get it, this person tried this and did not get it, you as a person, you might just hear it so much that you might just believe it. The things we hear from our culture, the things we hear from people, it has a way of either making us to have a limiting mindset or have a growth mindset. Also, our beliefs are shaped by our past failures or trauma. So you failed, you've had a traumatic situation, it's going to change your belief. But remember the conversation. What are you doing today that is going to shape the belief of your child? The actions you're taking today as a parent, the decisions you're making today, the conversations you're having with your child today, how is it going to impact on their mindsets? How is it going to impact on who they turn out to be? Is it going to impact on them negatively, or is it going to impact on them positively? So we must be intentional about this. Our belief is also shaped by comparison with other people. For a good number of parents, comparison with other parents, a good number of us compare ourselves with the other people. So you compare your reality with the highlight of someone else. You compare your situation as a parent with someone else's situation. You tell yourself, this parent has this. Oh, I don't have this. I am not enough. This parent can afford this for the child. I cannot afford it. I am not enough. So these comparison we have as parent, as adult, it shapes our belief. So as a parent that you are now, or an intending parent, or you know any parent around you, the conversations you have, when you look at the next neighbor, when you look at the next parent, are you comparing yourself? Because the truth is that when you compare yourself as a parent, when you compare yourself with other parents or with people you meet on social media, it has a way of shaping your belief. But then what we are here for is to have a growth mindset, not the limiting mindset. We're here to deal with our limitations. That is why we're here. So write down one limiting belief that has kept you stuck for a long time. What is that limiting belief you know that you've had for a long time that has kept you stuck? Could it be, oh, I can't read a book since I left school? Could it be, I am not worthy? Could it be, I am not enough? Could it be, I can't learn this thing, it's too difficult? Write it down and begin to work on it. Be aware that this is a limiting mindset and begin to work on it. Now, what is the cost of holding on to this limiting mindset? Because the truth is that this limiting mindset has what it does to us as parents, as adults, as individuals. What is the cost of holding on to those limitations? Your limitations of fear, your limitations of not wanting to start, your limitation of not wanting to do something, your limitation of waiting till everything is perfect. What is the effect? Number one, limiting beliefs sabotages your confidence. Limiting beliefs sabotages our confidence as adults, as parents. The truth is that when you have a limiting belief, you just find out that your confidence is going to dwindle. Your confidence is going to reduce. For example, if you have this belief that I am not worthy, you find out that when you want to stand in front of people, you don't want to have conversations with people because you just feel like I am not worthy, or you just feel like I don't think they'll listen to me. I don't think I have enough qualification for them to listen to me. That is one of the costs of limiting belief, because the truth is that limiting belief is costing us something. Limiting belief also sabotages your peace. When you have a limiting mindset like fear, your peace is sabotaged. Your peace is reduced. You're not peaceful. You're not in that state of calm because this thing is in your mind and is taking away your peace. Limiting belief also sabotages your connection as a parent with your child. When you have limiting belief, it's going to sabotage the connection you have with your child. For example, if you don't believe that I'm not a good enough parent, you just find out that you will not be good enough to your child. You just find out that you just do things because you just want to do. You won't do things for your child because it's the right thing to do. That is one of the costs of limiting belief. Limiting belief also sabotages the hope for change. Oh my God. When you have a limiting belief, it's going to just feel like there is no hope. When you have a limiting belief, it's just going to be like, oh, I don't know if things are going to get better. I don't know if there's going to be any changes. That is one of the costs of limiting belief. So when you argue for your limitation, you get to keep them. Are you arguing? Are you telling yourself, that is how I am. That is how I grew up. No, this is how I am. I cannot change. Nobody can change me. The truth is that when you argue for these limitations, you get to keep these limitations. And these limitations prevent you and hold you down. Now, how can we begin to rewrite the story? How can we begin to work on our limitations? Because the truth is that that is why we are here. Number one, identify the belief. Awareness is the key for us to be able to rewrite the script. You can't change what you don't know. You can't change what you have not noticed. If you've not noticed that you don't feel you're not enough, you can't change it. If you've not noticed that you're not good enough, you can't change it. If you've not noticed that you usually get scared when a particular situation happens, you can't change it. So the first thing for us to do as parents, as adults, as individuals, to begin to rewrite the script, to begin to move away from limiting mindset, is to identify that belief that has been holding you down. And that was why I gave the exercise earlier that we should write one limiting belief. Number two, challenge that belief. Now begin to create a new belief that is rooted in hope. Create a new belief that is rooted in growth, and create a new belief that is rooted in possibility. So when you identify the belief, the next thing is to challenge that belief. Challenge that belief with hope, with growth, with possibility. Challenge it. Ask yourself, is it actually true? This belief I have, is it true? What is the evidence? This fear I have for this thing, maybe for this work, for this program, for this course, or anything, is it actually true? Begin to challenge those beliefs. When you have the belief, oh, I am not worthy, is it actually true? It's not true, because we are all worthy. We are enough. We are created enough even before we were born. So the second thing we have to do as parents, as adults, is to challenge our limiting beliefs. The third thing we need to do is to replace our limiting beliefs with truths. So begin to replace those limiting beliefs with truths. Begin to tell yourself the truth you want to hear, the truth you want your mind to read. Begin to tell yourself things like you are patient. If you constantly tell yourself you're not patient, tell yourself you're patient. If you constantly have this belief that you can't read, tell yourself you are reading, you're learning, you're growing. Even when you make a mistake, you will get up and dust yourself. So begin to replace those beliefs with the truth. Tell yourself you were worthy, you are enough, you are not. God has not given us the spirit of fear. If you have fear as a limiting belief, always remind yourself that God has not given us the spirit of fear. He has given us the spirit of boldness, of sound mind, of self-control. Those are the ways we can begin to replace those truths with the word of God, with the word you want to hear, with the right words. Tell yourself you are growing. Even when you make a mistake, tell yourself you are growing. Begin to reframe your mindset. Begin to remove the word I can't from your dictionary. Begin to remove the word I cannot do this from your conversation. Tell yourself I can. I might not be able to do it yet, but I am going to learn. Even tell your children, don't tell your child you can't do this, you can't wash the plate, you can't do this. No, remove the word I can't from your vocabulary. Begin to say you can do it. You can learn it. All you need is just practice. Now, what is the hope and growth of what is the hope of a growth mindset? The greatest gift you can give your children is the example of a parent that keeps growing. So are you growing as a parent? That is why we're here. We are here to grow. And that is why I founded the Renewed Parent Academy. In our academy, we provide you with the right tools, the right resources for you to grow, for you to work on those limitations. The greatest gift you can give your children is the example of a parent that is growing. So can your children see you as a parent that is growing? You buy books for your children. Do you buy books for yourself? You tell your children to go and read. Do you read? Have your child seen you reading? Have your child seen you intentionally wanting to grow? Have your child seen you intentionally searching for resources that will help you as a parent, that will help you on your journey? Can your child say that my parents indeed are parents that are growing? The truth is that that is one of the greatest gifts you can give to your child. Because check around us. A lot of people just feel, oh, I don't need to grow. I don't need to read a book. I've left school, I graduated with a good result, I have a good job, I don't need to read a book. But is that really true? Is that really the conversation? The conversation is for us as parents, as adults, to be growing. Let your child see you as someone that is growing, because that is what is going to give them hope. Let your child see you as a parent that is intentional about your growth. That is it. Always tell yourself, I am learning. I am always learning. Even when you make mistakes, you tell yourself, mistakes are opportunities. You tell yourself, my past doesn't define my future. Even when you made mistake in the past, tell yourself, my past doesn't define my future. I can model emotional health for my children. Begin to reframe the things you say to yourself, because there is something reframing does. There is something declaration and affirmation does. There is something it does for you. Begin to reframe. So what are the practical tools you can begin to practice today to rewrite the script? Practical tool number 1, daily journal prompts. So get a journal, get a book, get a pen, and begin to write daily. Begin to write what beliefs held you back today. For example, before you go to bed, ask yourself, what beliefs held me back today? What are the beliefs that kept me down? Was it fear? Was it analysis paralysis? Was it perfectionism? Was it the belief that I'm not worthy? Was it the belief that I'm not good enough? Was it the belief that I can't make progress? Write it down in your journal. Then ask yourself, what is a more empowering thought you can replace it with? So when you are able to identify, as we said, you replace it with an empowering thought. But this time around, you're not doing it in your head. You write on paper. You think on paper. You journal on paper, not in your head. Then the second practical tool is affirmation practice. Begin to affirm yourself as a parent. And I have a book coming up on affirmation, 52 weeks affirmation for parents. Get a copy of that book. That book is going to work you for 52 weeks. How you can affirm yourself, how you can heal, how you can rise, how you can declare. Because the truth is that we have the power over ourselves. You have the power to declare and affirm, and those things will come to you. When you are able to affirm with conviction, with your emotion, it has the ability, the power to come to you. Begin to tell yourself, I am the right parent for my child. I am growing every day. My voice matters. My voice matters in my home. Begin to affirm yourself. It helps to rewrite the script. Then the other thing, script flick exercise. Write a short before and after narrative. So what is one old belief you used to have? Now, what is that belief you're working on? Have you been able to work on that belief? You have an old belief and you tell yourself a new belief. For example, if your old belief was, I always fail at doing something, or when I try something, I always fail. When you write the old belief, then by the side, write a new belief. Tell yourself, I am learning from this mistake. I am learning when I fail. I am learning to make adjustment. So begin to flip the exercise. You have an old belief and begin to use the right phrases for the new belief, so that when you have those thoughts of limitation, this thought of what is limiting you, begin to replace it with a new belief. Now, as a parent, do you know your thoughts, your beliefs are also part of legacy to your children? So what legacy are you leaving for your children? What kind of legacy are your beliefs creating for your children? Are your beliefs creating the legacy that your children will be proud of when they are adults? Or are your beliefs creating the legacy that your children will be like, oh my God, I don't like this belief? What kind of legacy are you leaving behind? Now, your children don't need you to be a perfect parent. Our children do not need us as parents to be perfect. They just need us to be present. They just need us to be emotionally present. They just need us to be emotionally available. They just need us to be willing to grow. They just need us to be willing to work on ourselves. They just need us to be able to rewrite our script so we don't bleed on them. Don't bleed on your children. Don't bleed on the people that did not cut you. All our children need is for us to be growing parents, because the truth is that your first job as a parent is not to parent. No. Your first responsibility as a parent is not to parent. Your first role, your first responsibility as a parent is to grow yourself. Your first responsibility as a parent is to reparent yourself. Your first role, your first responsibility as a parent is to recreate yourself. So the conversation is, are you growing yourself? Are you reparenting yourself? Are you recreating yourself by improving, by adding value, on yourself, by working on yourself? That is what our children want from us, because the truth is that as a parent, you're shaping generations yet unborn. As a parent, you're not just parenting for now, you're shaping generations and generations yet unborn. So your mindset, is it going to be a good legacy for you to transfer to your children? And I'm here to remind us that you are not stuck as a parent. You are just rehearsing an old story. What is that old story you have been rehearsing? It's high time you go back, dust yourself, and begin to take away those old stories. Begin to reframe, begin to recreate, begin to use the right words for those old stories. Because today, as a parent, you get to write a new story. Today, as an individual, you get to write a new story. What is that new story you're going to write? I charge you, I implore you to take your journey of growth seriously and begin to recreate yourself. Begin to write yourself. So write down one limiting belief and challenge it. When you write down the limiting belief, you challenge the limiting belief, then replace that limiting belief with a new and an empowering script. And when you've done that, practice it daily until it becomes a new default. I'll take that again. Our activity for today: write down one limiting belief that has been holding you down or holding us down. Challenge that limiting belief. Then number 3, replace that limiting belief with an empowering script. Then number 4, practice it daily until it becomes part of you. So that is where we call it a day for today's webinar. Remember to join our community, the Renewed Parent Academy, where we provide you with the tools, the resources on how to grow as a parent. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Renewed Parent Academy. Get a copy of my book, Becoming a Renewed Parent. I have 2 more books, some other books yet to be out. 52 Weeks Affirmation for Parents. That book will help you as a parent to affirm, to declare over yourself. It's going to give you power back to yourself. It's going to remind you how powerful you are as a parent. It's going to help you to heal, to rise, to parent, to be the better version of yourself. And A to Z of Emotions, it comes in a series for toddlers, school age, preschoolers, teenagers, and parents, adults. Get a copy of this book and start to work on your journey, because we understand that growth is a journey. Every day we are learning. You don't get to a point that say, I am done learning. We will continue to learn and learn and learn. So join our community and begin to work on yourself. So thank you for joining me today. Till I come your way next time, do have a good day. Thank you and bye.